Hello and welcome to Duke's Handbook, where I give general life advice on anything that anybody has. The Reddit episodes are Mondays at 05:30 in the morning Mountain Time. Anytime somebody emails in or have multiples like that, those episodes are released Tuesday through Friday at 5:30 in the morning. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to Duke's Handbook, where I go through and I read out stuff on Reddit and give my advice on it. This one's actually pretty long. It's a pretty good first one for sure. It's called "Broke Up with My Boyfriend and Got Back with Him the Next Day," and I've got to say, then why even fucking break up? But to each their own. And it says, "Boy, oh boy. Okay, so my boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years. We are high school sweethearts. Yesterday, I made the tough decision of breaking up with him. I had broken up with him thinking it would be the best way for me to figure myself out and find out what I want to do with my life. I also felt like I had been putting effort into myself, and I felt like he wasn't putting effort into himself. Which I mean, like, okay, maybe have a conversation about it. It's nothing to break up about. When I broke up with him, I told him that he's unmotivated and I want to be with someone who's motivated. I also told him that I needed time to work on myself." Girl, don't. That is the worst thing to tell a man. I need time to work on myself, because that immediately makes a man just go, oh, okay, so there's another guy. Even after we broke up, I felt like shit because I hurt him. He doesn't deserve to be hurt. He's a gentleman. He's always treated me with respect. He always tells me I'm beautiful and how much he loves me, both in person and over the phone. He always takes care of me, and he always, I guess, grammar. It took me a long time to decide to break up with him because I was wondering if I really did need to break up with him in order to better myself, which you don't. Plus, I love him. It's hard to leave someone you love. He wasn't a toxic person. One of my toxic traits is indecisiveness. Yeah, clearly. So even after we broke up, I still wasn't 100% sure if I made the right decision. I kept telling myself it was the right decision because I didn't want any regrets. Last night, he sent me a long notes text telling me how he felt. It really made me realize that I treated him bad. I didn't really give him a chance to better himself. I realized that I wasn't the best at communicating my doubts. When I was having doubts about our relationship, I hid them from him. I swear, some of y'all do that. Some women out there, they just do that. It's like, just if you're having doubts, like, bring it up. Come on. Conversations, man. He didn't deserve that. I told him I wanted to travel with him. He told me he wants to fly to Missouri to see his aunt and uncle so that he could get over his fear of planes for me. I told him I want to start taking college classes, and he told me that he wants to take them with me. So he is, like, trying to better himself, right? He's a manager at Big Lots for over a year now. He works 40-hour weeks, hasn't called off once, except when he lost his dad back in November. I lost my job and insisted on making me feel shit about it. Instead of making me feel like shit about it, he built me up. That's a good man. That's a good man right there. I'm not perfect, and honestly, I feel like I'm taking the pressure that I feel on myself and putting it on him. After I read his text, I called him. We had an over 2 hour long conversation, long phone call. I told him I want to try again, and he wants to try again. So we're back together now. I feel like we had the conversation that we should have had before I broke up with them. It was a bit impulsive on my part. I'll admit it. I get so stressed out on improving my life that I sabotage myself. There's a lot of people out there that do that. The reason why I felt he was unmotivated was because, for one thing, after work he would play video games, watch TV, and watch TikToks, which that's not an unmotivated thing, that's a decompression thing. It didn't look to me that he was using his free time to maybe learn new skills or try to better himself. He's also a bit overweight, and I've told him multiple times that I would love to see him eat better and work out more. He knows he needs to do that, but he doesn't. He needs to practice self-care better. The thing that worries me the most, however, is religion. He's getting back into Christianity, and I have been questioning my beliefs. I know having similar values in a relationship is very important. If we adopt kids, I don't want to raise them on two different parenting styles because that's confusing for the kids. He knows how I feel about Christianity as well. Other than that, I feel like we can work things out. I don't have to be alone to work on myself, and I even told my boyfriend that I'm going to focus on myself. He's really supportive of that. I want to try again and try to build him up so that he can work on himself. I'm just really hoping that I'm making the right decision. Again, I'm an indecisive individual. It's one of my toxic traits, which has put a dent into our relationship. What do I need to work on? What do me and my boyfriend need to work on? Can this relationship work out, or should I have stayed broken up with them? I love them a lot, but I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. So there's a lot going on there. One, both of you are young. In here you say your boyfriend's 22 and you're 21. You guys have been together since high school, right? That being said, you don't need to be by yourself to work on yourself, especially when you have a boyfriend that's like there to back you up and be supportive. The only time you need to be really by yourself to work on yourself is when you're like getting out of something super toxic. With working on yourself and bettering yourself, normally your partner will typically follow along and also try to better themselves. I would say somewhere along the lines here, you said that you wanted him to start working out, and you've told him multiple times that he needs to eat better and work out more. I don't know how you brought that up. I don't know if you were like really kind and caring about it, or if maybe it came out wrong and that could take some hit to somebody's like personal feelings about themselves. The playing video games, watching TV, and watching TikToks. I mean, he may not be unmotivated, but that's his way to decompress. Being a manager at Big Lots, I mean, I'm sure it's not an easy job. I mean, it's not hard, but it's not easy either, because you have to deal with like customers on a regular basis that might just be total cunts. So I wouldn't even worry about that. And he did also say that he was going to take college courses with you. So that is in turn also working on himself and bettering himself at the same time. So you guys would be working on each other and bettering each other at the same time in that same aspect. So I would take that as a plus. I mean, like, you got a guy that loves you and like treats you well and builds you up in a time that you feel like down for losing your job and everything like that. There's no reason to sit there and break up with this gentleman because you need to, quote, work on yourself. And I'm not knocking you for needing to work on yourself or wanting to work on yourself. Good for you. But I just think that this is the type of guy that you want to like work on yourself with, if that makes any sense. This one is titled, "Do you think this guy could like me?" Hey, I just wanted to come on, and also before I even read further in, and I'm sorry I did that. English is not this first person's or this language this person's first language, so just kind of bear with it. I'm going to probably struggle reading some of it. They're probably going to struggle typing in English. Hey, I just wanted to come on here and ask this question because I've been losing my mind over this guy since September. This guy I'm talking about was in my sister's grade in middle school. She's around 2 years older than me. I thought he looked good at the time when I was in middle school already, but I think he also had a huge glow up over time. He lives in a big house right next to the house my aunt used to live in. She got a divorce from her husband and moved out. But they are still on good terms. So when we were younger, we used to play in my aunt's backyard, and I saw my crush and his younger brother outside and in their garden a lot. He is really tall, like 6'2" or ish. STH? I don't know what that means. And he has brown hair and is naturally tan all the time, even in winter. He also plays soccer. He has the most amazing brown eyes and is really skinny with a great sense of fashion. My mom works at the kindergarten together with his mom, and she talks to me about the things his mom said about him. I just really hope his mom doesn't tell him stuff that my mom should about me. I don't know what that means. Just thought I'd give some information about everything. I was 2 grades below him in middle school, and I don't think he ever really noticed me. We were young, so he wasn't interested in me anyways. And to add to this, I was kind of shy, a bit chubby too. Now I'm in 9th grade, and I just turned 15. He's about to turn 17. He goes to a different school than me, but me, my sister, and him are on the same bus to school every morning. I haven't seen him since he left middle school, but I had a crush on him ever since I saw him again in September. I wasn't happy with the way I looked when school started, and because I was insecure, I never really thought about any guy potentially liking me before. I was a relatively fat child, but lost all the weight after he already left middle school. I was in 7th grade. I gained like half of the weight back since March, I think, but now in December I lost 15 pounds again, and I am okay with the way my body looks. Good for you for losing weight. That's good for you. I think I would maybe have a chance with him now. Me and him and I, have never talked, but I just kind of know things about him because we lived kind of close to each other and we went to the same school. I saw him when we went out with his friends. He went out with his friends a few times this fall, so I see him when we go out at night. I guess I could talk to him in such a situation because my friends like talking to his guy best friends sometimes, and he is kind of just there. So that would be one way to start talking to him. Absolutely. There's your in, girl, get this. Or guy, girl, or guy. There's your in. Start talking to him. Why not? Right? Recently in the morning, when we waited at the bus stop for the bus, he was the one who sat next to me. And he wasn't worried about sitting too close to me. Usually guys don't sit close to girls. Okay, so you're a girl. My bad. Because that small space between just makes you feel awkward and cringy. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. I usually sit on the bench next to one of my guy friends, but most of the time another girl also sat next to me. There's another in right there to start talking to this kid, right? The guy I have a crush on just kind of chose to sit next to me one day, next to me instead for the past 2 weeks, which I found strange at first because normally all of the guys wouldn't even sit down on the bench next to a girl because it just kind of feels like an awkward situation. All this started 2 days after I followed him on Instagram after seeing a posted a story after he posted a story. He followed me back after 40 minutes, which is really quick for a guy in my opinion. He only follows a really small amount of girls. He doesn't even follow my sister back, who was in school with him for 8 effing years. There's your in. There it is. Dude likes you. He thinks you're cute. When we sit next to each other, he doesn't mind the small gap between us. And his guy friends now also get to sit down on the bench. Because now he is the one to take the awkward position of sitting close to a girl. He always bounces his leg, and he has one leg kind of getting closer to mine sometimes. I can't tell if he does it on purpose. He moves around while sitting quiet a bit and is sliding his foot closer to mine just a few inches every time he moves. Do you think he does that to make me notice? Duh! Dude is hardcore crushing on you, girl. Dude is hard crushing on you. Just make your move. Yesterday, me, my sister, and him, and one of his childhood guy friends took the same bus home. My sister sat in the row behind me, and I was facing her so I could have a conversation with her. My crush and his guy friend sat in the last row of the bus, also talking to each other. I was trying to look at my sister while talking to her, but I am just really bad at keeping eye contact with someone. So I was kind of looking around, like anyone would. I mean, I'm pretty good at keeping eye contact, personally. I was just trying to not look at the guy directly, but that's kind of just what you do when you have a crush on someone. When I tried to look at him, he was already looking in my direction. We both looked away immediately. Our eyes accidentally met a few more times on the bus ride. Every time I looked at him, he was glancing in my direction and quickly looked away. I also crossed eyes with the guy best friend once on that bus ride. And that guy was almost like staring at me. He didn't even try to hide the fact that he looked at me. A little skull there, dead. Dude has a crush on you, girl. Jeez. I haven't seen him since, and I just have such a bad crush on him. Ugh. Oh my God. I can't tell if I should make a move on him, ask him for his Snapchat, or just add him already because he is in my Snapchat recommendations. You also have each other on Instagram, so you can message on that too, just so you know. I'm afraid of him not actually liking me, thinking I'm cringe or too young for him. He goes out a lot on weekends where he, of course, I'm assuming, always sees a bunch of all these pretty girls, and I get really insecure when I think about it. I just can't really think about me as an obviously good-looking person, objectively good-looking person, or anyone being attracted to me. But I don't think I'm ugly either, especially since I have lost 15 pounds from December to now, which, again, congratulations. I'm afraid to talk to him. I am afraid to talk to him when we are at the same party on the weekends, especially in front of the two guy friends he is always with. I'm way too scared to add him on Snapchat too, and I can't think of a way this would ever work. Again, you guys have each other on Instagram. I'm worried he will not like me back, like at all, and then it will be cringe when we take the same bus when we go to school every day. I'm worried that I might be too young to be with him. As I said, I'm 15, he's 17. You guys are still pretty much in the same age range. I will still have to see him when we go out, and I think everything would just be weird between us. I mean, it would be weird between you guys if you don't start talking, I guess, because you guys have each other on Instagram and sit next to each other all the time. So, okay. One of my girlfriends, exactly the same age as me, was in a relationship with a guy from his grade last year, which gives me hope I may not be too young for him. Can you maybe try to tell me what I should do now? I'm going crazy over him and I can't help it. Do you think I should make a move? Do you think he will talk to me when we go out? Is the situation just weird overall? Am I too young for him to be attracted to me? He is really pretty, and I'm afraid he will think of me as pathetic if I show him I'm interested in him. And then this is where I found out that English wasn't this person's first language. And it says, P.S. English isn't my first language, so I don't know how to point this, I don't know how to get the point to the point fast enough. This is just a really long text with a bunch of information thrown together in this thread. I'm sorry. Big thank you to anyone who even looked at or read the post and is willing to give me advice and handle this situation. Dude, I mean, okay. You done already have the dude on Instagram. You don't need to add additional shit to it just to have a conversation, because you can message each other on Instagram, right? He sat next to you, would move his foot towards you, shake his leg. Obviously, he's nervous. And I think go for it, dude. The worst that can happen is he says no. You guys still see each other out in public. It is what it is. But, yeah, go for it. Why not? This one is called Stupid Young Me, which I think all of us were dumb as hell when we were young, right? It says, hi, I'm new here. I've got something I've been stirring in my head for a few months now. My parents and grandma have saved up for my college tuition ever since I was a little kid, so I wouldn't have to ask them for money. Very smart. Even if I wasn't going to college, I could use it to start off my life. Maybe a small business, kiddo. Maybe a small business. All my life, I was told I couldn't buy anything and that I needed to save money. All I ever heard was to save, which is smart. Definitely something you need to do when you're younger, right? Some time passed and I turned 18. That account passed on to my name, so now I could put money into the account but also take money out. At first, I tried my best not to touch it and only use it for my tuition, but I don't know what got into me. I got into a long spending spree. I spent a lot over a long period of time on games, Uber Eats, Amazon stuff, and I'd tell my parents I was doing art commissions, and that's where I was getting the money That's where I was getting the money in a supposed separate PayPal account. Okay. Well, that was obviously a lie, but they never asked since I draw a lot and I've always done commissions. Skip some more time. I finally noticed the shit I've done. I calculate what I'll need for my bachelor's tuition and master's, plus all the other stuff I might need like campus insurance, etc. I've gotten a job telling my parents it's because I need to start getting some backbone in me. They don't question it. Now I'm stressed every day. I can't sleep from the anxiety this is causing me, and the part-time job I'm doing is not enough for a month's tuition, and it doesn't even cover it in the slightest. And it's ruining my ability to have full concentration on my degree that I honestly love so much. I don't know what to do, and I'm scared that telling my parents will make them disown me since they value saving money so much. I need help to pay my tuition in the future. I don't know how much longer I can withhold this from them, but I am not confident it's going to go well if I do. How do I break this to them? That's tough, man. And I get that stupid young you part of it, because we were all there. I mean, like when I was a young private, I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to go get this car as a private because I've got like a steady income, but it's at like 24% interest. I mean, like we all do it. We all mess our credit up, right? I'm going to tell you this. You fucked up, man. You fucked up. And it happens. And I think that if you own up to you fucking up, I can't imagine like your parents would really have. I mean, yeah, they're gonna be a little upset for sure, but I can't imagine they disown you for that. So maybe bring it up. Maybe try to make more money with your art. Start with the social medias. See how many people like reach out and everything like that to try and buy art off of you, and just go that way. And maybe that works out, and then you could just do that full time instead of, it'd be like a little business or whatever. But just, figure it out, man. It's a really shitty advice, but that's all I can tell you. You've already got the part-time job. You're in school. You're doing the math. You might have to take a break from school to work and save. Now, the shitty part about taking a break is sometimes that break ends up being permanent. But if you remain disciplined and go back to the saving and everything like that, being like, I need more money, and you keep doing your side hustle, you could eventually be back into school the very next year or a couple years from then and get your master's. So just now that you're mindful of your reckless spending, it should be easier for you to save and be aware of what you're spending your money on. Good luck, man. I feel for you. Well, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in and listening. I appreciate everybody that has been listening, sharing, and everything like that. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And then if you're listening to it on Spotify or anything like that, just go ahead and give us a follow, and we'll talk to you later. You have a good rest of your day.